Hello everyone, my name is Lyndon Miller. My wife Katie Jo and I operate LMK Farms. If you have heard about us or met us somewhere, you may know that we do operate a cow-calf operation, and we also sell some beef on the side. Now, if you have talked to us at all, we may have informed you that we operate a little bit differently, and so today I would like to inform you a little bit of the reasons why we do that and how we got there. I was raised on a farm. My dad raised beef as well, and I just kind of inherited the tact and willpower, I guess you might say, to continue on in his footsteps in the cow-calf operation. Now, I discovered very soon after beginning that the cow-calf operation is difficult at the very simplest. There is just no easy way around it. You have to deal with nature, you have to deal with winter, you have to deal with feeding animals, you have to deal with sickness and all these things. It's a very big responsibility and something that can be very challenging. So for me, starting out with the cows, I was prepared to meet these challenges. However, I was a little bit ignorant as to how these would materialize and come to play. And so a few years in, I realized that my operation was not going where I wanted it to go. I was not being able to provide a very good lifestyle for myself and for my family. I was too busy, and there was just too many things that I was fighting and struggling against to be profitable. And so I decided, after some extensive research and encouragement from others, to change my program a little bit and to begin a new chapter, if you will, in raising cattle in a new regenerative way. So before I get started too much, I want to show you a little bit of where we came from, just to kind of explain to you why we had to leave what we were involved in before. So the picture that you're seeing right now is one of the pictures I dug up. It is a picture of our cattle as we were weaning the calves in November. Now the grass is still green, you can see that, but if you look closely at the picture, you'll notice there's very little grass. The grass is short, there's just not a lot there. And the cows, though doing fairly well, are not performing maybe as good as they could be, because they're not able to get a full 4-inch bite of grass every time they take a bite, because there's just not that much there. Now these cattle are healthy, and there is really no reason anybody would ever think that there is something wrong here, because this is what everybody has always seen. But what if these cows were actually eating tall grass at this point? Would they be performing better, or would they still look the same way they do here? Now let's move into winter. Winter feeding for most cow operations involves machinery like this one, and mud like you see here. This is a very serious challenge that we have to overcome. There is expensive equipment involved. There is very challenging, muddy conditions that are very unenjoyable and require a lot of extra work and extra labor, and it can be very frustrating for both animals and humans. We also have snow. This is cold, and cows need extra feed, and so we ended up feeding them even more. These things just add a lot of expense, and a lot of times the expenses that go into a cow-calf operation are really hard to realize again when you come out to selling your calves. These expenses can oftentimes overwhelm a young farmer starting up, such as myself, to where buying machinery and paying for the fuel that it takes to run that machinery, and then buying feed and feeding to the cows and spending hours and hours every day feeding cows. This is a big commitment and a lot of expense that can be overwhelming to those that are starting up without a lot of collateral or money to begin with. Now, what about calving? Everybody loves calving season. I mean, it's so great to see new little baby animals coming to the farm. But wait, what's wrong here? This is a dry lot. This is not enjoyable. All of a sudden, we have calves being born in winter. Like you see here, this is the 19th of February. This is below 10 degrees this morning. It's very cold and very hard to get a calf to start and to be able to nurse right away. We calve in the snow, in the night. We're checking cows all night long. This is difficult. This is not easy work. Calving cows in the middle of winter, like you see here, often results in calves being too cold and dying because I wasn't there in time. I didn't get there within 15 or 20 minutes of birth, and so therefore the calf cannot survive without human intervention because it is simply too cold. This is not the natural way. This is not the way God intended for nature to work. And here we are trying to outperform nature by getting bigger calves on the ground and trying to make them do better, do what we want them to do. So because of the financial difficulties that we faced and the ever-increasing knowledge that there was a better way to work with nature instead of against it, we decided to make this change. So please watch the next video called The Change, that I will explain then about a little bit more what the change consisted of. And then the video after that, I'm going to talk about what the results were of the change. So stay tuned and please watch those as well. This is one of the main reasons why we decided to change and to do things differently and to make changes to our operation that would allow us to work with nature, not against it.